in defense of a peaceable kingdom. In December of 1763, a radical group of extremists perpetrated a hate crime against a group of innocent people, believing that they had the justification of their God's will in fulfilling this act of genocide. But for a brief moment, Philadelphians united to oppose this act of evil and defend the innocent. This is the story of the Paxton Boys' riots of 1763, the demise of the Conestogas, and Philadelphia's defense of Christian Indians who sought only to practice their religion.
I should be very sorry that ever the people of this county should attempt avenging their injuries on the heads of a few inoffensive, superannuated savages whom nature had already devoted to dust.
The Pennsylvania Backcountry, 1763. The brief peace that followed the British conquest of the French and their Indian allies was shattered when native nations rose against the military occupation of their lands and the flood of settlement that followed.
The barbarians have renewed their hostilities against us, and our country bleeds under savage knife. The dreadful news of murdering, burning, and scalping is daily conveyed to us and confirmed with shocking additions.
You yourselves are the cause of this. You marched your armies into our land and built your forts here, although we have told you time and time again that we wish you to remove from our lands. Brothers, can you not understand that this is our land and not yours?
The occupants of the Pennsylvania frontier, largely Scots-Irish of the Presbyterian faith, once again find themselves in a perilous struggle to defend their homes and families, and as in the past, receiving little support from the civilized East. Their community was centered around the Presbyterian Church in the tiny village of Paxton on the banks of the Susquehanna River.
The Pennsylvania Gazette reported that more than 1,000 families in Cumberland County were driven from their houses and habitations, all the comforts and conveniences of life. There were 1,384 refugees in Shippensburg, 301 men, 345 women, and 738 children. Large numbers of them were living in barns, stables, cellars, and under old leaky sheds, dwelling houses all being crowded. Many of these families had suffered the same losses and distresses and were deprived of their worldly sustenance, and some, their dearest friends and relatives.
They saw their hopes for a peaceable future shattered, and they reacted with blind rage against all perceived threats to that vision. But not all Indians were hostile. In a small village outside of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, were the remains of a once mighty nation, the Conestogas. The last of the Susquehannocks lived peaceably on their land guaranteed to them by William Penn. North of Philadelphia, near the village of Bethlehem, a Moravian mission housed Christian Delaware Indians, whose only concern was the worship of God.